I'm with John Kisimir. He's a friend who has been a supporter of conservation for a very long time here in Kenya, from the Maasai community.
Hi.
John, you have been telling us about the history of wildlife utilization in the past. Can you just expound on what happened before?
Yeah, I think I was young when they tried the trials for consumptive use of wildlife in Kajiado in the 90s, probably maybe late 80s as well. I was just getting into my teenage years. And I remember the shock of guns being introduced into our communities. I have never heard the sound of a gun before. And I remember the hunters going around with their Land Rovers, shooting zebras. And the scariest thing I've ever experienced, I remember cattle running. I mean, the sound of a hunting gun is not it's not a small thing. And in such a peaceful community, the sound of those guns would scatter wildlife, scatter cattle. I remember people losing cattle because when you scatter cattle or scare them, they run into lions and other forms of predators. But I remember the confusion of even children getting lost at that time. You know, like a child that has never heard the sound of a gun suddenly running. When you're herding, you run, try for safety. And I remember dead animals. I remember animals running either injured. It's still weird how I used to wonder, why don't they just shoot and kill it at once? I still remember animals running around injured, and that didn't make sense to me. To me, I thought a gun was something that shoots and kills you instantly. I remember injured zebras and giraffes at some point. That's still in my mind. And when we're having this discussion on consumptive use of wildlife, having known that that experiment failed terribly, at least in Kajiado, I also know that that's actually what pushed a lot of animals out of most of Kajiado Central, into Tanzania, into much towards Amboseli. And that actually that was the beginning of the reduction of wildlife numbers in Kajiado. And also the hostility of communities toward people who actually kill animals just like that. But also the introduction of poaching. It became almost okay for anyone to kill an animal, because if the government could bring people to kill wildlife, so what is wrong with me doing the same thing? I think that was the first time actually young people started to figure out, you know what, you can kill animals and sell them to people in Nairobi, and you don't have to say it's actually giraffe meat. You don't have to say eland meat. You just say it's meat. So instead of buying cattle and selling it in the markets, you kill zebras and bring them to Nairobi as normal beef. I don't think I want to see that happen. It's a good conversation to have right now in this country, but consumptive use of wildlife needs to take a totally different angle. Not what I saw when I was young.
The argument from the government, though, is that wildlife populations are declining across the country, including in Kajiado, quite severely. And if we don't do something, we will lose all these animals. And so they think, well, at least let's try this before we lose all these animals. What do you think are the other options? What else could we do that will help to restore or revive our wildlife populations?
To be honest with you, that discussion, to be honest with you, the wildlife numbers have gone down, including in my own family land. And the reasons are various, and probably to me the biggest reason is the fact that communities do not get the same support from wildlife authorities as they should. We get hostility instead. Instead, when an accident happens and an elephant dies, you'll get helicopters immediately, you'll get rangers coming. When a child is eaten by a hyena or a lion, you'll cry, and no one will ever even come to say pole. So to me, that is the beginning of a conversation. If I have to have wildlife in my ranch, there is a huge spiritual connection between why people keep wildlife and not kill them. There is a connection. We believe that those things were made just the way our cattle were made. They have a right to be in those ranches. They have a right to be in my land. The point is this: why do we make it so hard for me to accommodate wildlife? The day that I cry and say I need help because we're having a problem animal, you don't see my cry, you see the animal. I think there are things that we can do, and provision of, to me, I think if you really want us to live with wildlife, we could reduce wildlife diseases, livestock diseases. We could reduce human diseases. We could improve education, and tie all this to the existence of wildlife. But not in any other way. I don't think. So telling me to eat zebras that I've never eaten a zebra. It's just disgusting to me. I don't understand this point where you all want to eat things. You know, you grow food, you eat it. Anything that you don't even make, you want to convert it into food. To me, it's just ridiculous. Or money. How do you put a price to everything that exists in this world, especially things that you didn't make? They are not yours. You didn't put wildlife on earth. God made them.
Right.
Do you want to put a price on me now? Is it the next level where you decide, oh, we need to price a tag to every community in this country and decide what I bring on the table? The way you want to say, because I can price my cattle to this much, you want to put the same price to a zebra?
Well, unfortunately, there are some people, yes, who are saying exactly that we should put a price on it. But so imagine a future, which is what I think the way the government is going, is what if we have some farms, we fence them, we grow zebras and some other animals, we harvest them, we build an abattoir, and we harvest those animals and we sell that meat and whatever other products. Apart from the clear disgust you have about the concept, could it have any other side effects?
The way they did it with the donkeys, when you introduced the fact that you can actually eat a donkey, and you've seen what happened to Kajiado, most of us, and anyone in Kajiado will tell you that if you had 5 donkeys last year, now you have none, because you just created a market where donkeys are killed, yet we have such a small population.
These are what, domestic donkeys?
Yes. I mean, anyone will tell you from Kajiado, from northern Tanzania, donkeys are disappearing.
So wait, explain to me what exactly happened with the donkeys.
They opened this Chinese market for appetite for donkeys, and you have a factory in Naivasha that and I think Dogreticon as well that takes donkeys. So what happened is just created this illegal market where you don't even have to sell your donkeys for them to disappear. People are literally going around villages stealing donkeys, and these are donkeys that are used as a means of transport, and donkeys are disappearing completely. And what next are they gonna do? Because zebras are the next to the donkeys. We're gonna have zebras being slaughtered very soon and being used for.
So this could actually open up a massive market of demand for the products from zebras to fill in where now donkeys have disappeared.
It will open up market for everything, and where does it end? So when you don't have enough donkeys, because the donkeys are disappearing. If you go to the zebra, which is the next animal that have the same product as the donkey and the zebra, we're just opening up Pandora's box that really we shouldn't be going there. It's just the market is just. And the other big thing that worries us as those communities that live with wildlife is the reason why people don't eat wildlife, because you actually don't know what kind of diseases they have. We don't know what viruses wildlife. We have a saying that they are kind of dirty because you actually don't know what it is. You don't know. For cattle, we know the diseases, we know how to treat them. I don't know what kind of stuff that zebras or other animals do have, or monkeys. So who has the capacity to do this thing? If you introduce a new thing to the market and you've not even done the studies to tell me if it's clean enough, who's going to take responsibility?
So there are many risks associated with this, and not very many benefits, lots of challenges, and I think it sounds like a lot of real cultural concerns about this.
Yeah, real cultural concerns, and it's and I think that is something that needs to be listened to, because it's really, really important. I worry that you're gonna legitimize the killing of animals because you make it easy to eat. You make it, if this is a very corrupt nation. If you people don't understand that it can actually go wrong. If we do cut corners all the time, and now you open another system where people can find beef without buying. That is what I see. If guys free meat, because what guys do, and maybe Kenyans need to understand this, the most of the meat that come here, it's not from which is bushmeat, whatever they call it. It's actually not that they tell you it's bushmeat. A guy will go to Kajiado, kill a zebra, package it as a cow and you find it in your butchery. So it really trying to legitimize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And you know what? If you can make 100K free from a zebra like that, just like this, without buying. So how many? If you kill 10 of them, you've made $1 million in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without paying taxes, without going through any kind of supervision by the government.
Yeah.
Tourism.
Great. Well, thank you for that, John. I'm really interested in those perspectives from the rural areas, which is really the hot seat of where this problem will emerge, and it's also where our parks depend on your community for the survival of tourism.
Yeah, and I hope people will listen that not everything can be valued the way, I think we really need to understand that we all value different things differently, and money and food is not always the answer. It's not. Thank you.
Thank you.